I mean, like even ATMs, like back then we didn't have two-way communication with the ATMs. Like now we can, if we wanted to change something on ATM or update software, we had to physically go to every ATM back then. Now we do it all remotely. So like same thing with POS. POS at one time was a pain in the ass. Like it was really hard. And people are always like, well, if you're always telling people you should do credit cards, you start with credit cards. Why didn't you start with credit cards? And like, because what you're thinking of as credit cards and POS today is not what it was when I started. Like somebody getting in now is so freaking lucky that I mean, back then there was just 3 or 4 companies controlled POS in New Orleans because they had the dealerships, like the franchise for each one. One guy had Posi Touch. Right. Yeah. Like one guy had Aloha. One guy had like Posi Touch. One guy had
made millions.
Micros. Yeah. And they controlled it. So if you wanted to say, if somebody was like, hey, I want a Micros, like you couldn't do it. They had to go through that guy. So it's all changed now. It doesn't work like that anymore.
The credit card processing systems, which do you recommend to get? So that's you'd have to elaborate a little more. That is all about, I'd say with the credit card processing to niche down, like let's say be the guy that just does pizza shops, or the guy that just does bars, or the guy that just does, tire shops. Now I've done it the other way where I've just, anybody whose business I can get, but it creates a lot of headaches, like Richie said, because there's a lot of technical issues you have to learn with the POSs. It can be very, very complicated. Luckily I just had a background in computers and stuff in network. And so I was able to figure out a lot of stuff on my own, but it can be really complicated, but there's really no better passive income because one, every business is taking credit cards. I'd say most businesses we deal with, Richie, they're 80 to 90% cards now. A lot of places, aren't taking a lot of cash. And two, your income that you can gain is based just off of, as long as the business is processing cards, you're getting a percentage. So there's really no better passive income strategy. And every business doesn't need an ATM. Every business needs to take credit cards.
Another piece of that answer is the best credit card processing system depends on which vertical. So what is the best one for a bar may not be the best one for a restaurant. What is the best one for a restaurant isn't the best one for a gas station or for, a retail store. Like there's now the systems are very, very specialized. Like Toast is for restaurants. You don't use Toast typically like in a retail store. That would be, a totally different system. So it depends. Kevin and I talk about this often. He's way heavier into POS and credit cards than I am, but we'll get asked by a bar or a restaurant or somebody to do it, and we'll do it. And we'll talk about, what's the best system for these people. And it's almost always a different answer depending on what they're trying to accomplish. I mean, there's so many different types of businesses, and some of them value different things. They may say, no, I want a system that does X, Y, and Z, and a system that you were going to push to them doesn't do that. And I think Kevin's actually dealing with a situation like that right now where he might have pitched one, but they're wanting something else. So that happens. So you have to be, as much as I like to on the ATM side of things, work with one manufacturer and keep everything universal, doesn't work that way in credit cards and POS. Like everybody, I mean, even on the terminals, some people like a terminal that has a certain set of steps and number of steps to process a card, whereas other people like another terminal. So you have to be open and you have to be a bit agnostic as to which terminals and systems you're willing to work with and support.
Yuli just asked a question, said basic terms of credit card processing that I should know if I'm starting. Yuli, that's a good question. So, obviously our school system's not going to have a lot of, content on how to start a point of sale system business. Now, I'll say this, Richie, we're talking about the courses with the ATMs. I did pay for a course for credit card processing, and I did think that I got my money's worth, but a lot of the information is free out there in the internet.
Which course did you take?
CC Sales Pro, and this is not a plug or anything, guys. He's not sponsoring any of this. I took his course, but again, he's got a ton of free content out. You could just consume the free content, and I like this free content so much, I paid for the course to get that leg up. But I'd say, Richie, just for me, having a competitive advantage, meaning that know the pros and the cons of every system. You don't need to know everything about every system, but for example, like Richie said, you said Toast, knowing that Toast is more designed for restaurants. and knowing that the competitive advantage is it's super expensive. So merchants aren't going to, they're not going to want to pay all that for a system when they can get something cheaper. But a lot of, so fast cash, they said, toast for restaurants. How about pizza shops or tire shops? What would you recommend? Okay, so fast cash ATMs, understand that you can't sell toast. Toast is proprietary, meaning that they're processor agnostic, which basically means that only Toast can sell toast. So what you would want to do fast cash is there's POSs that they allow independent sales reps. Like Clover would be one, Hot Sauce would be one, Shift 4, Harbor Touch. Those are examples of one. For a pizza shop, Richie, do you have any recommendations for that? I mean, it really depends.
It depends. It could be the one that you're pushing that you just mentioned, not Toast.
Clover.
Clover, yeah, Clover maybe. I don't have any pizza shops. So I really couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
but I do know like a lot of people ask for Clover like across the board these days. I mean, we even had a hotel ask us for Clover, which seemed kind of odd, but that's what they wanted.
This one right here, y'all, is called Snack. I've not put one of these out yet, but they say these are good for pizza shops. I don't have any pizza shops in my portfolio, but you know what I would do? You know what I do fast cash? I would actually go around to local pizza shops or call them and see what they got. And you'd be surprised, Richie. I don't know about you, but like whenever I go places, as long as you're not being like pushy and salesy, if you're just asking questions like, man, what system is that? Oh, that's a Clover. Oh, do y'all like it? They will open up to you, but if they think that you're trying to sell them, they're going to shut the door on you. So you got to really go into it, genuinely. Yeah, Antonio, Toast is proprietary, meaning that only they sell their equipment. So Toast isn't going to let me or Richie sell Toast equipment. Clover will let you do that. Hot Sauce will let you do it. And there's a bunch of POSs. Lavu will let you do that.
Kevin, you didn't really like Hot Sauce, huh? Because we were about to try that out with a customer who was looking for a new POS, and I know you just tried it.
Yeah, so I haven't given Hot Sauce enough of a try yet to really give it the thumbs up. So far, there's stuff I like about it, stuff that I don't like about it, but that's been every POS. I had a customer beg me for Clover. I mean, he begged me. I wanted to give him something else. He got Clover. We had some issues. We worked them out, but that's the bigger thing with this, y'all. You have to answer your phone, and you have to, it's passive income. And dude, I have places, Richie, I don't know about you. I have places where I don't hear from them ever, and I just get that mailbox money every month. But I do have some places I got to put the white gloves on and really go over there and figure out some issues and really hold their hands. And they appreciate that, man. That shit goes a long way.
Yeah, no, I don't know. A lot of ours have been pretty hands-on. So I'd say that, the idea that because it's credit card processing, that it's just passive isn't accurate. In fact, I've seen guys get into it. They had connections, they signed up a bunch of accounts, and then they cratered because they had no idea what they were doing. They weren't willing to go help. And, some of our credit card accounts are on like Bourbon Street. They're in the French Quarter, very high volume, very busy at night, very busy on the weekend, holidays. And it's like the end of the world for them when these things go down. It's way worse than when an ATM goes down, unless it's cash only, which not many places are anymore down here. But yeah, for sure. Like if they go down, I mean, they're going crazy. So somebody's got to go. Somebody's got to, and it could just be their internet went down. And in that case, we switch them to cellular until their internet comes back up. Or it could be that the terminal's bad. I mean, these high volume places, they spill drinks in them, drop food in them. They ruin these terminals, and you better have a backup, because if somebody else has a terminal, they're going to be with them the next day because they want to be up and running quick, and you do not have time to wait for a terminal to get shipped to you.